Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am repotting one of my adeniums. If you'd like to see how I undo some damage, keep watching. This adenium is, I want to say, a double, and it's sort of purplish. Very pretty when it flowers. She's been stunted in the pot, and this is the pot that she's been in. I decided to record after I dumped, dumped the soil out, and at this point, her roots don't look too bad. She's just kind of not doing anything, more like in a bonsai fashion where nothing happens. But I was able to shake off the pot without even pulling on anything at all, so that tells me that there was sufficient drainage, just no room for the plant to grow. So what I plan to do is to reuse my soil, because I don't have soil on my little section here, and replant her back in this pot, hopefully exposing a little bit more of the roots at the top or above the soil level, and hopefully she will bounce back for us. It's the time of year where, based on my location, they kind of get really good sun in the after, like I think like from 10 to about 3 or 4 o'clock, which is pretty good for the plant itself. So I figured this would be a great time for me to come out and try and do something. I've been unfortunately neglecting them. So let's see what happens, and wish me luck. My area is literally my patio, so I've got a few plants out here and some orchids that also were neglected that I kind of did some things with. This little area here is sandbags, so let's not look at that, but a little table, and this is where the plant sits. A makeshift table. I'm in a condo, so it's, pretty much tight places. But this is pretty much what I have to work with. And I am replanting this adenium, repotting it, and my work surface is inside this bag. I dumped the same soil. Soil can be reused. You do need to put some fertilizer in it to encourage the roots to grow and to seek food and nutrition. I'm going to be sort of sifting in this shake and feed all-purpose fertilizer in there, which is I think slow release, so the roots will find it and be happy, because they haven't had anything in quite some time. That's my plan for today, and then I'll check on her in a week's time, even though I'm in an enclosed place and it's all screened. It's screened right on my little, the next thing you have is my window, or my sliding glass door. There's still something eating her. I don't know if you can see that. Something gets inside this area, and those are chomps, I think, on the underbelly of the leaves. It doesn't look like eggs. I don't know. I might try and get that off too. And her trunk is very firm, so she's not squishy. I'm gonna check the roots are not squishy at all. The smaller white ones are flexible, which is good, but excuse me, I'll beat that out. But her roots are pretty good. They're not like super soggy or anything, because I learned that a long time ago with working with adeniums. But they're white. These are cool. If I were to blow all the water off, they would look really good. Nothing is squishy. Nothing. So she's been hollering at me and neglecting her. I'm not clipping or cutting anything. These little roots, I kind of feel, feed the leaves, and when you do repot it, you see dieback on the leaves. So Let's see. I'll check her in a week because they kind of go in shock that I've invaded their space, and you know, play with them a bit. They don't like that, so I'll try that. So let me. She took a dive, but if you can see, look at that. I don't know, eating the plant, or those might be buggies living in there or something, like little cocoons or something, and then they wake up and eat my plant. But I'll try and get some of that stuff off too. Let's see what happens without, you know, it's kind of flat if you could see it, without trying to hurt the plant, trying to scrape it off. So otherwise no. So I'm gonna put her on my table here, and I'm doing this with one hand, so forgive me. This is my working space. My working table is my chair. I'm sitting on one, and I have a second chair. I'm going to dump all this out because I need to make sure that all the rocks are back to the bottom. Look at that. The soil is pretty good. I can still touch it with my hands, and she was just watered on some, I think Friday. So that's awesome. Yeah. So I'm going. What I plan to do is to put the rocks in here first. I'm going to sift through my sand here and find all the rocks, like so, basically, because I reuse all my stuff. Throw them back into the pot here. So these are the ones that will allow additional drainage at the bottom. I don't have to worry about it. I was totally trying to. This is like a old tag that was in there. Can't read what that says anymore. Double, yes, and it's purple. Ah, look at that. Oh my goodness, that is going back in this pot because that helps me. That reinforces that what I was thinking she was. I haven't seen her bloom in so long that I am totally at the mercy of the plant to show me herself. So this was a double, and she is purplish in color. And I think we called her, gosh, I forgot her name. Maybe it'll come to me. But in the meantime, I'm going to leave it in the soil so that I can find it again next time I go. Okay, I have pulled out most of the rocks. I'm going to lift it in the sun so you can see that. I pulled out most of the rocks, and I'm going to put the seed in the bag. Please understand that I'm no expert at the adeniums. I don't profess to be. I have played with planting as a hobby, and you know, sometimes what I do works, sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes it works well, and sometimes it doesn't work at all. So, you know, basically this was the Miracle Grow that I have on hand. Nothing specific to adeniums, just I'm going to be very, you know, free with it. I should take this little cap off. This, yeah, I've got all kind of dirt through my nails, and oh my word. Okay, so I'm gonna sprinkle some fertilizer, because what I found out is they actually really do like fertilizer, and I'm just gonna mix it up, shake up the bag. Nothing magical. Oops, daggone it, left a little bit, but shake up the bag, spin it around, so kind of separate a little bit. That's all. Gonna go back into the pot, and we'll go from there. I could use, let me see, have here? A scoop. Here's a little hey guys, I actually forgot that I needed a little more to go inside this soil mix. So I ran to my local Home Depot and grabbed some potting mix, cactus, palm, and citrus potting mix. Okay guys, I needed a little more soil, so I had to run to my local Home Depot and I picked up some, just a small bag of cactus and palm citrus potting mix, which is fast draining for the adeniums, as well as a bag of perlites, which is the aeration little styrofoam balls that are also mixed in the soil to assist with extra drainage. So like when I mix the potting soil and the perlite, it really does not hold water. It gives the plant just enough water to live on until the next watering, and that works. I'm also including this river pebbles. Sorry, the perlite is styrofoam, so it sort of floats to the top, and I cover the top of the pot with river pebbles to prevent the perlite from floating out in a way and wasting my money. Okay, so let me get started here with the perlite. I do. I sprinkle. May or may not be too much, but I don't repot often. So what's in there, I try to make sure that it lasts. Okay, it's not right here. I'm showing you that the soil is not clumping. I've added so much perlite to it that it won't allow the soil to clump, which is really good for the plants and promotes great drainage. And there I go again, adding more perlite just to be safe. Scooper. Once again, the pot itself has all of the previous rocks that I had somewhere distributed within the soil. Likely it's just sitting on the bottom because I help with drainage. This is a double pot because I reuse like a nursery pot once like falling apart. So, but water definitely goes through here. Holes in the bottom on both. Water will not sit in this pot, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to just go ahead and nestle it in the bag and just start filling her up. I'm going to fill her up probably a third of the way. Oh, I remembered the name of the plants. My wife had to remind me. Her name was Dolly. She's so pretty. And it doesn't take much to actually get it far, but I want it to be where I can raise the plants, expose some more of the roots, but being the structure of the roots on this particular plant, I have to weigh it down somehow, otherwise it'll be flimsy and won't, they don't like root and clean so much, but I want it to at least be stable. So I'm going to check it. So right now she'll go down too far, way too far. So I want her to sit up something like this. Maybe exposing a little, like, a little more like that. So put her back down. Probably get another scoop of goodness. Spin her around a little bit. Like that. She might like that. It feels like it's at the same spot. It could be, but definitely she has more soil to find at this point and explore. And all I'm doing is filling her up around. It's hot, and I can even lift it still to let some of the soil fill up the hole in the bottom. And this is basically what I have done. I watched several videos over the years, and the techniques are similar. I just may not be as good at remembering specific science behind a lot of this stuff, so I can't share that with you. Therefore, I'm not a professional. I'm only doing what works for me and what I, from experience, works for my plants. Yeah, she's got this straight up type. I believe she was a cutting. I bought her at a nursery out in the Redlands, and this is literally her same shape and structure. So I believe she was a cutting, because it doesn't really have those gorgeous roots. that other adeniums normally have. And I've grown adeniums from seed, and this one doesn't have that going on. I'm gonna press it just a little bit. Her little roots, but she has so much soil to find and discover. She's gonna be super happy with this. I could go to bed and feel really good about it. All right, now as you see, she's still a little bit flimsy. The soil has all the perlite in there, but it's not enough to make her not move completely. So the next step is to come in with those river pebbles. That's so funny, I have such a hard time saying it. Whoa, it's a super heavy bag. Once you open the bag, there's no turning back. So, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and take this time to double in purple. Let's stick it down somewhere in here, below the sand, the soil, so that it won't fade and dry out. That's what I'm going to fill up my little cup with some river pebbles. These are pretty heavy. Gee whiz, this is really heavy. So I'm going to sprinkle them around the top, just to give it a nice coating of red. And I try to use the larger rocks before, but the larger rocks let the perlite out. And that's the whole purpose. That's pretty much it. Slide this off. Check. Kind of smush, smush, smush. And what the last step would be to give her a good watering. And I have some water here, not a lot. Press it down. Mix this first layer with some of the soil. And maybe add a little more. Just helps to stabilize it as well. Now, see if I could get the top of it. Go ahead and use my new soil potting mix that I'll be using for other plants. Dolly. Dolly has a new fitting. Fresh soil mixed with fertilizer and goodies in it. That's the top of Dolly. This is all new growth. I know I mentioned I would have rubbed some of the, I don't want to pull that stuff off the leaves. She'll probably have to shed it herself, but set up. New digs there. And let's see if we can get her to bloom. Do right by her so that she'll bloom. There you go. And this is what it looks like at the bottom. I'm going to get some water, get her in position on the floor next to me here. I'm going to drop her in the floor and set her up for some water. This is probably a lot, but this is to give her the fresh rinse down. Ooh. And I've already seen a little bit of perlite shift up, but that's what the rocks would help with. And the thing is, I don't have to worry about overwatering her. Right now she's getting quite a bit because I want it to kind of go through. Kind of gives her a path, I think, of how much further her roots can explore down there, which if she explores more, the roots explore more, then I'll get more at the top. That's my theory, I guess. But that's it. It for she. I'm gonna give it a second or two because it's gonna come out of the bottom. It's already puddling a little bit. It's not dripping, so to speak, but it's on the chair. Got it, back up. Trench. Reservoir. Oh yeah, she's coming out of the bottom already. Okay, so just to give you an idea, she's already dripping her little heart out. Hopefully you can see that. That's on my chair. So now I'm going to go ahead and move her to her spot on the table. A little spot on the table. Yeah, she was already dripping out on my chair. Good. It's okay. There's a light here, daylight. And have some light on my phone. But this is her new setup. She should be okay. The leaves are good. This is the area where the sun comes in indirectly. She should get plenty of light. And we'll go from there. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of your time. For my plant viewers, this is an update on my current nursery. I've got another adenium in the back that I'll do the same with. I think that one is white, but I'll take care of that too. This one was also not doing too well. Basically, I hadn't been out here in a while. It's still trying to give new growth. This is new, and it is totally trying everywhere. So we'll address those, and there's one more. So I've got 1, 2, 3 other adeniums, and I have 2 larger ones in the front of my home to work on, but I'll do that. But thank you so much for hanging in there with me for the repotting of Dolly, and I'll keep you updated.